But ultimately, if one day someone had to or chose to, move to Antigua to reside, we have a great lifestyle. So, someone coming from a first world country would not feel that they were disadvantaged in terms of their lifestyle, their social life. So you have a lifestyle that is suitable to wherever you came from. This immediately be present by
Good afternoon, my name is Alexander Kush. I'm your host today. We're here with Meeting the Officials. We have the very, very fortunate opportunity to sit down with Ambassador Jeff Hadeed, Chairman of the Board of the Citizenship by Investment Program of Antigua and Barbuda. Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule to have this little conversation with us about Antigua.
Thank you for having me as well.
Thank you so much. Before we kick into any technicalities and the processes of the citizenship program, I wanted to speak a little bit about the history. Can you give us a few insights on why this program was launched and when?
Okay, so the program was launched actually in 2013. But prior to that, there was about a 2-year engagement between government, private sector, and just developing the concept of the program. So talks about the program started early in 2011, and it took about 2 years prior to the launching. The whole rationale behind the program was, it was a brainwave, a brainstorming between, government, private sector to stimulate the economy, how they can stimulate the economy, get more investment in the economy. And especially on the real estate side, especially on the development of resort properties, because tourism is our primary business. The concept was to find a methodology, a new way of helping to raise funding and helping to gain new investment in projects and tourism development in Antigua.
I know that when it comes to investment, there's multiple routes that an investor can take place. There's 3 main options.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about the 3 different options and perhaps which option is best suited for a different type of investor?
So we have 3 options. We actually have 4. The 2 of them are funds. One is the National Development Fund and one is the University of the West Indies Fund. We then have investment in real estate and or investment in business. So basically, it really depends on the client and the client's rationale and what type of investment they want to make. Some people are, they just want it clean, simple, and they want to get the citizenship, so they want to fast in and out in the process, and they tend to go for the fund. Some people want to have some sort of a return or some more attachment to the country, so they will tend to go for real estate. The other people, the University of the West Indies, it's a good option as a fund for larger families because it speaks to families of 6 and or more. So it just depends really on the backdrop of the investor and what it is they're looking for. In recent times, there's been a change in the investment amounts. So the funds and the real estate are a little bit closer price, so there's a little bit more competition between which route that people want to take, and so we're seeing a little bit more attraction to real estate as opposed to the fund. But the fund is very easy, it's clean, it's quick. You make the investment. With real estate, you have to get in a contract, you have to get involved in owning the property and some of the other work and nuances that are involved in owning the property.
Yeah, some people just want something fast and clean without the additional work.
Yeah.
Well, Antigua stands out as the only country out of the Caribbean 5 that imposes a minimum stay requirement, 5 days within the first 5 years. Can you speak to us why this decision was taken? Why is it important for Antigua to impose this requirement? And why did the government really divert from the rest when it comes to this matter?
Actually, we started our program with a residency component. And again, going back to those initial days of brainstorming, discussions, and developing the program, all the research and discussions on developing the program, the Antiguans felt, and a lot of the Antiguan developers at the time were actually Antiguans. They were not foreign developers. So there was always this feeling that you should have some engagement from our investors in coming to the country, in being attached to the country. And actually, it started with 35-day requirement in the first 5 years.
Wow.
And then that was changed to 5 days because, 5 days you can do in one trip. 35 days, most people would need 2 to 3 trips to do that. Mm-hmm. So the initial program was launched with a 35-day stay in 5 years.
And have you seen that it has been a force for good, this 5-day requirement, or have you seen perhaps
I would say
challenge?
That a lot of agents and international marketing agencies, they have always complained and said that it's a big hindrance to the program because not only it's an added cost, but someone has to also, if they're a family, they have to also bring the whole family. Everybody has to come. They have to find times in their schedule to do that. But in the end, what was a negative for us in the current environment turned out to be actually positive for our program. Because as you would have been hearing, and a lot of the issues with the European Union are in genuine links in terms of conveyance of citizenship. And the big challenges that the Europeans have is that to convey citizenship, you need to have some genuine link with the country. 5 days in 5 years is not a lot, but it's still enough to give people a sense of what it's like, what the country is like, what they, if one day they would even have to move there, if they chose to move there, then they would have an idea of their country that they've just become a citizen of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at least they have that record of visiting the country and that history of being in Antigua.
We see it as positive. We always felt it was important for our new citizens to know something about us and to come and see and feel our country. So for us, it's very important, and I don't think we will take it away. In fact, it seems now that maybe even some of the other programs may start adding a residency component to their programs.
Mm-hmm. Specifically to address, as you mentioned correctly, this genuine link issue,
yes,
which has been a very hot topic, specifically of the Europeans. Well, touching base on that, what is Antigua doing specifically to mitigate these risks with their international partners, especially with the European counterparts, as there has been concern with potential investors in the market of perhaps the European Union cutting the visa waiver agreement with the Caribbean islands. What is Antigua doing in this regard, and perhaps the Caribbean as a whole?
So, first of all, we've always been engaging with the European Union, the UK, and the US officials. We actually have a working committee which is made up of the chairman, the CEOs of all of the 5 programs, as well as the governor of the central bank, and the director general of the OECS, and some of their technical people. So this working committee is meeting. I've been myself personally involved in about 4 of these meetings already. So we're always engaging with the officials from these countries. We're always explaining what we do. We've shared with them what we do. We've opened our units to inspection whenever they've requested. We've shared with them our processes. We've engaged with them with our due diligence providers, some of our private due diligence providers. So we continue to engage, we listen, and we try to respond to where they see either weaknesses or risk or challenges. Ultimately, all of the visa arrangements are bilateral between each jurisdiction, and ultimately, the decision to withdraw a visa waiver arrangement is not ours, because it's reciprocal. So it's, if the European Union wants to withdraw the Schengen visa waiver, we obviously we can discuss, we can negotiate, but it's going to be their decision. So far, we've been responding and implementing many of the changes that they would have hinted to or had suggested, and with the hope that we are at least addressing some of their concerns about risk and or weaknesses in the programs. And this you would have seen also last year. The MOA that was signed between the 5 jurisdictions was a real, deliberate response to some of the concerns that would have come out of these discussions that we've had with these countries.
Well, we can comfortably say that the citizenship by investment space in the Caribbean is quite competitive.
Yes.
A lot of countries are offering this option. Can you speak a little bit about Antigua and how does Antigua stand out? And what makes Antigua really different and special in regard to all the other competitors?
So if we speak just to the programs at this point in time, what I would say is that we've maintained and operated a very solid program with robust due diligence, very consistent on our times. We may not be the fastest, but we try to stay consistent to the times that we have been working with. So, realistically, I would say it's 6 to 8 months, and we've been fairly consistent with that time frame. As I said, we operate a very well-run program. I like to say that we stand out in terms of our consistency, the quality of our program, and the quality of the investments that we offer. If I were to move beyond just the program operation and look at what does Antigua offer versus the others, I would say that I would have to speak to things like we're far more developed in terms of our infrastructure. We have far more international air and sea connectivity, so we have daily flights to at least 3 cities in the US. We have daily flights to London. We have 1 flight a week to Frankfurt. We have daily flights to all of the Caribbean region. So you can easily get on and off the island at any point in time because we are connected both to US and also to Canada and the UK from an international or, let's say, northbound sort of connectivity. We have a thriving seaport, so we are now a full containerized hubbing port, so ships can dock on a daily basis. We have very good infrastructure, roads, everything else. We have a very good tourism based economy, so we don't entirely depend on citizenship by investment for our economy. It's only a small part of our GDP, albeit a big part of our non-tax revenue. We have a great lifestyle, so someone coming from a first world country would not feel that they were disadvantaged in terms of their lifestyle, their social life. They will meet like-minded people. They will be able to go to very, very good restaurants and eat at international standards. We have a very multicultural society. So we have a community outside of citizenship by investment. We have a community of residents that come from all the Caribbean region, including the Dominican Republic. We have Syrians, Lebanese, French, Italian, German, Spanish, English, Americans. So we have people from all, pretty much most countries, from all over the world. So you can always, you have a lifestyle that is suitable to wherever you came from, And so those are really our pluses, and we have good business opportunities. We are part of most of the global organizations, UN, UNESCO, SIDS, all of these organizations. Our ultimate court of justice is the Privy Council in the UK. So we have a very stable Westminster system government. So politically, socially, business-wise, Antigua provides a lot of good opportunity. And I think we stand above the other 4 jurisdictions in this regard.
Well, just touching up very briefly upon the international element of Antigua, I believe I remember in CIS, and I had the opportunity to visit Antigua last month.
Yes.
The Prime Minister, Gaston Brown, even said that half of the population of Antigua is foreign-born, or something along that mark. So it's truly a cosmopolitan. I mean, that really sets the country apart from the rest.
So someone, a lot of people get involved in citizenship by investment as, a plan B or some sort of, insurance. I know some people look to the citizenship, the new citizenship, to support their, if their children want to go away to study, sometimes it's easier to get a visa to study. So there are different motivations. But ultimately, if one day someone had to or chose to, move to Antigua to reside, they would be comfortable that there was opportunity for them to work or create business, and there's opportunity, for education. We have one of the only 2 IB accredited schools in the entire Caribbean.
Oh, wow.
So children up to IB a diploma can have an international education as well. And so, it's convenient for someone who would have to or choose to go and live there. And by the way, we've had several citizens who came through the program doing the fund, and then during their 5-day stay, chose after to buy property, and some have chosen to move their families there to live and educate their children in Antigua.
Yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to visit Antigua for it was for around 9 days last month, and I mean, truly, I was blown away. I mean, to what you mentioned. Yeah, I mean, it's a place you really have to come and see with your own eyes. The infrastructure, the hospitality, just the quality of development and the level of development is, I mean, it's truly special. It's a place you could live, and that's what it's all about. It's not citizenship by investment is specifically when it comes to Antigua, it's not merely about acquiring a citizenship per se, the document, but it's access to a lifestyle and a place you could truly call a second home.
As I say, we see the 5-day stay as very important because it gives these investors a chance to really feel, touch, see, experience the country that they've just become a citizen of.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. Well, Ambassador Jeff Hadeed, thank you so much for having this short conversation with us.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to having you soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Officials, we speak with leaders whose calls are crucial. Make the world your home somehow.